So you got Pokemon Scarlet or Violet, and you've seen all this content about shiny Pokemon, but you really don't have any idea where to begin. There are a lot of new terms and items, and most of them you've actually never heard of. Everyone's telling you have to do all these tricks and hacks to get shinies. Everything has become overly complicated, and it makes the game more of a chore than what it really should be, which is entertaining. Fortunately, you came to the right place. Why don't we tune out all the noise and just start with the basics? So what are Pokemon exactly? You might say they're digital fantasy animals that do battle. You might also consider them your companions. Well, while they can be all of these things, they are also randomly generated numbers. The traits and stats, including whether or not they are shiny, are all determined when they spawn by the game rolling a dice. Each area has a set number of spawn slots, and they are filled whenever you load that area. The game rolls a dice for each slot. The Asado Desert likely has hundreds of spawns in a given area. Let us say, for example, that each of these 50 Pokemon actually represents 100 Pokemon in the wild. Without any buffs or items, the probability of finding a shiny in the wild is 1 in 4,096, or 0.024%. In this example, only one Pokemon would likely be shiny. The first item to increase your odds of getting a shiny should be fairly familiar to you. The shiny charm is given as a reward for completing your Pokedex. It increases the odds of encountering a shiny to 1 in 1,365, or 0.073%. In our example, with a shiny charm, that would mean approximately 4 Pokemon would likely be shiny. The next item that can increase your odds of getting a shiny in Scarlet and Violet is Herba Mystica. Herba Mystica is a random drop rewarded for completing 5-star and above raids. It is used to create sparkling power sandwiches and increases the probability of encountering a shiny Pokemon to 1 in 1,024, or 0.097%, approximately 0.1%. There is no guarantee that it's going to be given as a reward at the end of a raid, and the type of Herba Mystica is also completely random. In our example, if you had a sparkling sandwich buff alone, you would likely see approximately 5 shiny Pokemon. With a shiny charm and a sparkling sandwich, the odds of finding a shiny are 1 in 683, or 0.146%. In our example, you would likely encounter 7 shiny Pokemon. Due to the rarity and difficulty of obtaining Herba Mystica, many players have resorted to somewhat questionable methods, such as making sandwiches with friends and then disconnecting to retain the herbs. It is not the intended use designed by game developers, but Pokemon exploits have existed from the very beginning of the series. But you really don't need them. The real key to getting shiny Pokemon is what we discussed earlier, probability. There are 3 basic steps to obtain shiny Pokemon. Step 1 is completing your Pokedex. Catch every unique Pokemon you come across, and I mean everything. Stock up on Pokeballs. Many Pokemon can be captured by simply throwing a Pokeball at them without doing any damage. This wasn't really true in previous games, but it's become really easy in Scarlet and Violet. Get organized. Try to keep your Pokemon captured for the Pokedex in separate boxes. This will help later when you need to evolve them or trade them with others. You may also want to make a spreadsheet to help track which Pokemon require leveling, special items, or trade to evolve. Step 2. Have a picnic. You don't have to have a sparkling sandwich to get shiny Pokemon. However, you will need an encounter power sandwich. Encounter power makes it more likely to encounter specific types of Pokemon. The game comes with preloaded encounter power recipes for each Pokemon type. Encounter power ranges from level 1 to level 3. Level 3 is exclusive to sparkling sandwiches, however. Fortunately, encounter power 2 sandwiches are usually enough. You will need to know what type of Pokemon spawn in a given area and determine if it is the best place to search for a specific Pokemon. This is what the Pokemon gurus refer to as isolated encounters. For example, if you wanted a fungus, you might consider going to the Sokrat Trail and making a poison type encounter sandwich. But even with that encounter level 2 sandwich, you might find there's too many random Pokemon in the way of you getting your shiny. Instead, a better option might be going to the Tag Tree Thicket and using a grass type sandwich. The idea is to use probability to encounter the specific type of Pokemon you want shiny. Step 3 is spawning shiny Pokemon. To find a shiny Pokemon, you will need to encounter approximately the amount of Pokemon that probability tells us is necessary to generate a shiny. For example, if the odds of encountering a shiny Pokemon with a shiny charm are 1 in 1,365, we should encounter at minimum 1,365 Pokemon before we have a chance at seeing a shiny. Keep in mind that probabilities are just that, probable events. Each Pokemon rolls a dice as it spawns. You could get lucky and find a shiny long before the estimated odds, or you could be unlucky and not see one for double the odds. You can get Pokemon to respawn by leaving the zone and returning, creating and disbanding a picnic, defeating Pokemon in mass outbreaks, or making circuits through a single large zone. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks.